What's up, gamer faces? Let's take a look at the entire boot up and setup of the new Microsoft Xbox Series X. If you didn't already notice, that first video showing the on button being pressed was the first time it's ever been pressed. The console is painted in a matte black finish that is f***ing asshole when it comes to fingerprint smudges. Luckily, we don't need to touch this thing very often. But you may have noticed the smudges if you looked at that photo a little bit closer. Now what you're looking at here is the actual initial boot up screen. Yes, it is taking this long. I'm actually going to speed this video up because this shit goes on for another 90 seconds. Okay, there we go. This next screen that comes up acts as a login replacement, which is pretty cool, letting a gamer connect their app to sign in. Unfortunately for this initial boot up, the server was getting overloaded, I think, probably from all the new console purchases, and I couldn't get it to work, but I am able to get it to work a little bit later in the video. So let's fast forward this yet again. Okay, so I fast forwarded about 5 minutes. On my phone side, I keep going through this loop of where it thinks it's connected, it's not connected. Now the app on my console says I'm connected. Here's my phone, I'm logging in yet again to my account. Again, it's pretty clear that Xbox was having some network issues. I get this approval to go through, finally. It does say here, it keeps going to this gray screen, but this time finally goes through. So I'm able to add it, at least on my app side, where I'm almost logged in. I'm gonna fast forward this a bit. This goes on for a while. Okay, I cut out about 90 seconds of video and this one finally goes through. Loop complete. I have now synced my new Xbox with my app. Or so I think. Because although it says connected, I actually have to hit next and just bypass the connection screen to finally get to an update screen. So that's what I do here. But fortunately, the app was able to get the Wi-Fi working on my Xbox. I'm not sure why it was so slow, but this 760 megabyte update took forever. So yet another fast forward. Okay, fast forwarding about 30 minutes, we get to kind of the first checkpoint where we're now going to have a console restart. Now, as this boots back up, however, we're going to go right back into finishing off kind of the third piece of the update. Most of this video is being cut, so you don't have to stare at a blank screen. Alright, knock another 2 minutes off of the video, and we're finally done with the initial update. Remember this screen? Yep, this one's back. It still hasn't logged us in. Even though our app thinks we have a fine connection, and even though it somehow pulled the Wi-Fi from my phone. I decided to just hit skip and move on. The next screen we come to is yet another update, this time for the controller. Of course, I'm gonna fast forward this one as well. Okay, about 6 minutes later, controller's finally done updating. Let's finally boot this console up. Yes, it's asking me to sign in again. Understanding the frustration so far. I just hit skip. Let's actually not sign in. This initial load screen takes forever, but ones that take place after this seem to be instant, so not sure if this is just another kind of initialization. Okay, we're finally through that. Look, a sign-in option. I hit next, but of course, we're not going to sign in, knowing that there's something obviously wrong with it right now. Some of the initial options that pop up, of course, time zone, basics when you're setting up, are instant on versus energy saving. Instant on, pretty cool. You can just kind of resume games. There's no boot up screen. Of course, it costs more power. Yet again, skipping sign on. Alright, this is it. This is the interface. This is the home screen. I'm trying to take a look at a few different options here. Most of them require, of course, a sign-in, which I'll have here shortly, but many of the pages kind of loop like this, failing to load anything unless you actually have a profile, I think, to tie it to. At one point, I'm going to fast forward to it, I actually get stuck in a screen and have to restart to get out of it. And that issue I'm talking about happens here at the Microsoft Store. So if you do select the store from the home screen and you're not signed in, you'll notice there's no way to get back to home. Normally when you click on any app or you're in any section of your Xbox launch screen, you'll have a home option when you hit the home button, but that doesn't exist here for some reason when you go to the store. So your only option is to sign in. Of course, at this time of me trying this, the sign in was down. So I had no way to get out of it. Even by just clicking my games, etc., backing out would still take me back to the store. So I actually had to do a reboot. One advantage from having to reboot at least is that you get to see how fast this thing restarts. You're watching it real time. This is a shutdown, reboot, and boot up. And there you go. What was that? 12, 15 seconds? Something like that? Pretty good. I'm not pretty good to be stuck in that screen to begin with, but pretty good to have that kind of fast of a reboot. Alright, one feature I have found that I think is pretty cool is that I immediately go to the network settings and thinking, maybe it's my network, let's test it out. So I go to test the network connection. It tells me mine's fine, but Xbox is having some issues, which is great because that was the assumption all along. So at least they say that. From here though, you can also test your actual connection. So if you want to do that, you can test your connection. This does take a minute. But it'll at least tell you how you're performing, or how you're connected. Now I am pretty far away from my hub, however it still maintains a pretty strong signal strength and has a pretty decent speed. However, I am on gigabit, and this only showed up at about 60 something, so definitely has some loss, but fast enough for me. Alright, one last thing. If you are signing up for your Xbox Series S or X, sorry, and trying to sign in today and you're having issues, this is one way I found to get it to work, is if you hit add new user, and then you have this option here to do, like to log in, back out of this and choose another device, use another device. When you do that, you get this unique link. Go ahead and pull up that URL and do it through the web and not the app. And this seemed to work for me on my first shot, so give this one a shot if for some reason you're trying to do the app thing and you're getting thrown through a loop. This one worked for me and got me right into my account. And there we have it. Now we are logged in. One other really cool feature I wanted to go over that I didn't see in the other, I hardly played my Xbox One X, but one feature that I thought was really cool in setting this up is this pin method. And now what it does is it basically gives you a 6-digit pin that you can generate where you use the 10 different buttons on your controller. They correspond to a different number. So you can enter your pin while you're sitting on your couch, you have friends over, you're watching Netflix, etc. You don't have to manually type out your password in front of everybody. You can set it here through this. And I thought this was so cool. But anyway, that's probably old news to a lot of people, but anyway, that was pretty cool. That's pretty much it for the video, so hopefully you like this and it helps you in some capacity. If so, please like and subscribe. Otherwise, take care and enjoy your new console. And I totally get that this is what happens with a new console. Sometimes the launches are a little rough, there's a ton of people on the networks. It's totally understandable. I'm still stoked for this. Bye, everybody.